Get ready, Staten Island.
The Ferry Hawks host the Hagerstown Flying Boxcars. Today, it's a doubleheader starting at 4 p.m. with Jewish Heritage Night. As for this game, the Ferry Hawks will play as the Staten Island Menches. Friday at 7 p.m., it's soccer night, and kids glow around the bases postgame. Saturday at 6:30, it's Broadway night with postgame fireworks and Broadway rave. Sunday at 1:30, it's Military Appreciation Day, and the kids run around the bases.
Visit ferryhawks.com now to lock in your seats. In the squadron, they called him Bullets, but we call him Greg Kelly. Greg Kelly is on the air
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
The thrill of victory, the agony of defeat. I love this little intro that we used to watch on Saturdays. Makes me think of last night at the Madison Square Garden. Even a non-athletic oriented person like me got all into it at the end. I was walking home. I saw the score. 20 points they were down. 20 points.
29.
What, was it 29 at one point? Mm-hmm. So I was walking down. The firefighters, a couple of blocks from here, they actually had this pretty wild setup. They had all the garage doors open, and they had a great big projector pointed across the street, and they were playing it on the wall across the street. So I'm walking down the sidewalk. They're over there, and there's the game. Anyway, yeah, it was like 20 points when I was like, wow. I mean, that's really cool what you're doing with the projector, but boy, this game sucks. Didn't give it another thought, and then I happened to be on the internet later, and it was like clutch time, and boom, wow.
Yeah, I mean, you probably had even more. You probably watched more of it than I did, Greg, because I really lost it early in the game yesterday. There were some very questionable foul calls made against Karl Anthony Towns. And I convinced myself, I whipped myself up into a frenzy that the NBA was dead set on San Antonio winning and Victor Wembanyama is going to be the next big thing. And I had all these conspiratorial things running through my mind. But I did watch the end of the game. I did see the climax.
Well, sometimes you think a game that good, you wonder, maybe it is a little bit rigged.
I mean, it's hard not to sometimes look at it that way. And sports is kind of crazy like that. But
one day we're going to find out that it was all rigged and that because they want us watching. If everybody gets bored, it's not money making.
And basketball has a unique ability for the officials to really have a major impact. I know all the different sports have their officials and the calls matter and stuff like that, but basketball really makes a huge difference.
Well, anyway, it was great that they won. Really fun. The crowd went nuts. Nobody was worried about Iran, which we were bombing all night long. Nobody was talking about that. It's all right. And then, as fans do, they go outside and break things. They win, and then they break things. Yeah. I would like to know more about the psychology. Listen to this. Cut 24, please. Cut 24. Now, this little group is taking on the San Antonio Spur bus.
Yeah.
Oh, that's the bus.
Yeah, it's the bus. Get his ass. Why would they do that to the bus?
I don't know. I mean, I've certainly seen for many years fans booing the opposing team's bus or, yelling some not so nice terms at the bus.
But you never saw somebody open the cargo bay doors and get inside.
No, and throwing a trash can at it and chasing it down the street. I mean, I don't understand it. I really don't.
A little bit, it looks like fun. A little bit. I mean, imagine just going crazy in the streets, breaking stuff, climbing on things.
That's insane.
I wouldn't do it, I don't think.
It's just, I don't know. To me, if you're that into the game, you want to talk about and react to the game afterwards. I don't know.
It's a little bit of a mystery. I want to bring a psychiatrist in and talk to them. Why did they do this? Now, some of them, I know they stole the suitcases. So Wembanyama's, clothes might be missing. That would be terrible.
That would be bad, yeah.
That guy can't just go to the store, you know what I mean?
Oh, no.
He's got to make
a special
arrangements.
tailor, yeah.
So what does this mean now? That really was something. But it's funny to me also when I see like Jerry Seinfeld and everybody else hugging each other like they did anything. Give me a hug. They won.
Yeah, I don't know. The sports thing, I feel I have sort of imposter syndrome because I got so checked out yesterday during the big falling behind thing. But it brings people together, like they feel a certain sense of camaraderie when they're watching that.
No, when you're watching it and they're down like that and then they come back, it does feel like, you've been through something together.
Right,
you've been through something, even though you're just totally witnessing. And, great for them.
And the Spurs deserve a lot of blame, by the way, because they continued to shoot the three-pointers. We talked about this the other day, Greg, how that's like an epidemic in the modern NBA. And even though they had the big lead, they continued to bomb away. They weren't hitting them in the third quarter, and that's how the Knicks frittered away the lead.
Wow, they should have played basketball the old-fashioned way, and they would have won. Anyway, their mistake is our benefit, and now we all got the great players. So, what's so good about Jalen Brunson? Jalen Brunson. What's his deal?
Well, he's got a great jump shot, and he's really just a guy who seems to get better in those clutch moments. That's kind of a cliche, I think, for a lot of guys in sports, but he really does raise his game to a different level, and he just kind of understands angles, it seems. Like he's not the tallest guy, not the fastest guy, but he seems to arc the shot the right way, bounce it off the backboard, and he just hits shots at key moments. I mean, even last night where OG Anunoby was really the hero by tipping it in, Brunson let it fly at the right time. He knew they were going to have numbers on the offensive glass, and they did.
Hold on a second. OG who?
OG Anunoby. Probably their best all-around player.
And where's he from?
He was actually born in London, I think.
So it's gotten very international, international.
Went to college in the U.S., went to Indiana.
Well, anyway, congratulations to the team. What happens now?
So now it goes back to San Antonio, and Saturday night, it'll be Game 5.
Hey, all you Knicks fans who did this to the Spurs, you're going to make it very difficult for the Knicks when they go back in their bus. Listen to this again, 24. Terrible. Absolutely terrible.
What's wrong? Oh, that's the bus.
It's the bus. How dare you come? What are they angry at?
I don't know.
What would you be angry at?
Wembanyama has had a little, fun role of villain for the Knicks fans here because he had some hard fouls, and he's obviously very, very good, and he's just so unique physically. He's kind of the number one villain right now.
Well, why would you want to, ruin his clothes? I don't know.
That goes to a different level that I can't explain.
I call it, you know what I call it? And they used to call this, you used to hear this phrase a lot. They call it man's inhumanity to man. And what I saw last night was inhumanity. I mean, that's animal behavior. And you want to hear animal behavior. Listen to this, man. So Carmelo Anthony is convicted of murder. I mean, who'd have thunk it, right? You plunge a knife into a guy's chest. You say, he says, move, make me. You don't touch me or you're going to regret it. And then he gets a knife in his chest. Pretty much open and shut case. Didn't even bother to say, oh, I was in self-defense. Couldn't even bring himself to say that for some reason. So the family is coming out. This is the family of Austin Metcalf, his dad, his brother, right? They're coming out of the courthouse.
Greg Kelly.
Let's go, Brandon.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Roger Stone here. Your dollars are losing ground, but gold isn't. American Sovereign Bullion helps you protect your wealth through real, tangible assets. Through their nationwide wholesaler network, you get some of the best pricing on gold and silver delivered straight to your door. Since 1912, the U.S. dollar has lost 97% of its purchasing power. Meanwhile, gold continues to prove its strength. So call 844-272-2428. That's 844-272-2428. Or visit dyingdollar.com to request your free gold and silver guide. That's dyingdollar.com.
Greg Kelly.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Oh, my gosh. Oh, my gosh. Stop it. Yes, 9 o'clock. This guy's going to start bitching about freedom of the press. They're blocking the car. They're mobbing it. They're disturbing the peace. And they're saying the ugliest things imaginable to the family of the victim. The victim. It's amazing how these things, get turned around, twisted into a crazy pretzel. A racial pretzel.
Yeah, I mean, it's really bad. But I mean, at the end of the day, I feel like there's two things going on at once. These people that are supporting Carmelo Anthony kind of have this worldview where dominance and intimidation and physical assertion is all that matters, right? Like that should be what matters in an interaction like that. But at the same time, they're smart enough to know that there's a lot of people that don't look at it that way. So they say, well, he was bullied. He was bullied. There's no evidence of that. There's no evidence of any sort of racial interaction between the two of them. This is, I don't know. I mean, I want to just try to remind myself that obviously it's a small percentage of people that really truly believe that this guy was justified in his actions, Carmelo Anthony.
No, you never know. Keep it going if you don't mind that tape, please. No, you're not allowed to do what you're doing, jerk. He's blocking the car. Freedom of the press. Let him leave. Let him leave. They wouldn't let him leave the car out of the parking lot. Wow. That's very rude. In addition to being hateful and inhumane. Rude. So anyway, I don't know what the hell, man. People are just, they're high on weed. They're all raged up on drugs and the damned telephone here, the content, making everybody angry. Nobody talks about God. It's like not part of the public conversation. Look at this guy, Graham Plattner, the pig. Let's call him the pig. President Trump calls him the pig. This guy he's a pig. He said it out loud. It's pretty great. Here, listen to him. Listen to this guy. The grievance culture. Graham Plattner, cut 23, the Democrat nominee for U.S. Senate from Maine.
Has your campaign been working to figure out what an opposition file with it, any additional allegations might have in it? Do you know that on your end? Have you thought about it?
Oh, I've thought about it extensively. I mean, here's the thing. I've lived my life. I was there the whole time. Much of the allegations that have come out as of late are literally just lies. And so, I don't really, they've already gotten to the point where they're moving into just making things up. And if we're already there, I don't know what else they're going to make up because I don't know what's going around in the very weird minds of Republican operatives.
Wow, we're so weird. All right, well, here's a fact. You got a Nazi tattoo on your chest, okay? You are on a kink website called Predators for Kinks. All right, that's the thing, too. And also, several of his ex-girlfriends called him abusive. So, I mean, those are for weird things. How about you being weird? You're the weirdo.
There is something hog-like to his voice, too. There's something porcine about his the sound of his voice.
And actually, when you're right, and he's a little bit reddish in complexion.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That big, bushy, push broom beard mustache that he's got.
Is that what it's called? A push broom beard? How do you know that?
No, it's like he's got a big, old school, like Yosemite Sam style mustache.
Yeah, like a guy who, ran a railroad in 1880.
Right.
Listen to this. This is President Trump nails it. Cut 11, please. Cut 11. Trump on Graham Plattner.
The one in Maine is worse because he's just an outright pig. He's like a pig. I watched him a couple of times. He's like a pig. That's what he reminds me of. I come up with good names for people. I don't want to stick him with that one, although I think pigs would be very upset about it. But this guy is a thug. He's a fake thug. He's a phony. I made a lot of money picking out phonies. He's a real phony. He's a bad person. This guy's the worst. And it's really funny when he talks about his, Graham Plattner talks about his military service and post-traumatic stress and all that crap, how people fall for it. I mean, people fall for it. It even shuts up Republicans. They start to feel inhibited. Don't feel inhibited. This guy's lying. He is totally lying. PTSD, most of the time, is a myth or a fake diagnosis, a self-diagnosis. So listen to this. I actually have some proof here. There's Graham Plattner on the Morning Joe talking about military stuff. I'm sick of these guys talking about their military, by the way. Okay, you did get paid, didn't you? All right. So why the hell do I have to salute you? In fact, you're not even wearing the uniform anymore.
I feel like you're not uniquely, but because you have that military background, you can say that stuff. A lot of people don't feel comfortable doing it.
Well, I encourage you to feel comfortable doing it because so many of these guys are using their military service that we gave them, right? It's service. We're not in service of you, right? They weaponize their service and they use it as a shame tool. All right, you got to exercise that muscle. Next time you see Graham Plattner, I want you to give him the middle finger. And you say, hey, screw you and your military service, because I don't believe you when you say you serve. I'm serious.
Officer Oink.
Take the thing that is allegedly their greatest strength and turn it into a weakness. It's an old trick I learned from Karl Rove. We'll be right back.
Greg Kelly
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative
on the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hi. Hey, the Pentagon situation is very strange. Hazardous material, hazmat. Now, the federal government is kind of spring-loaded. You know what it could be? A false alarm, a fire drill. You know when you're in an office building and every now and then, like, the alarm goes off and everybody sits around like, do we really have to do this? Do we really have to? Aren't they going to say something? And sometimes the building fire marshal will get on and tell everybody everything's okay. That hasn't quite happened yet. Let's go through this. Pentagon is on lockdown. Okay. Crews rush in over hazardous materials incident. Sounds like a suspicious odor. Half the time in my hometown when the fire department would respond, it was a suspicious odor. The Pentagon is on lockdown as emergency workers respond to the Department of War's headquarters for a hazardous materials incident. Let's see here. Building systems detected an air quality issue. People are speculating. One of the most secure structures in the nation, the Pentagon has an impressive building-wide defense system that can stop airflow between corridors, detect hazardous materials floating in the air, and seal off parts of the building to stop contaminants from spreading. I am sure that sounds a hell of a lot more impressive than it actually works. Okay, there's no way it works that well. And a system that sensitive is going to break and false alarm all the time. I used to work in the Pentagon, by the way. Very fascinating building. And also a little bit on the boring side as well. It's very drab and dreary on the inside, but it's very easy to get lost as well. It's kind of like being in Central Park, to be honest. You know, you just know that there's a landmark. I knew how to get to the middle of the building, and then I could find where I had to go from there. As long as I got to the middle of the building. It's kind of like Central Park. If I can get to Fifth Avenue, I know where I am. If I can get to Central Park, I know where I am. And the Pentagon, no idea where I am, but I kind of know how to get to the middle, but I can't get to any other place in the building other than the middle. I worked in there for about a month. And actually, when I was with Fox, I would work there, on and off. I'd go and do the Pentagon cover. Hey, Sting, Gordon Sumner from The Police, right? Is that his name, his real name? Gordon Summers, something like that? He's on Broadway. How about that? Sting. You know, good for Sting. He kept himself in shape, which is a really important thing if you're a performer. Nice guy, raised a very impressive young woman with that Trudy Styler. Of all the guests I've ever had on the television show, she's one of about 3 who ever sent a thank you note. Very nice thank you note. Then I felt pressure to respond to the thank you note, which is a whole other story. I'm not saying everybody has to respond with the thank you note. Actually, most people don't, and that's fine. But she did, one of the very few. Anyway, they seem like they have it all going on as a couple. And now Sting is on Broadway. Well, good for him. He keeps it creatively active. You know how long the Police have been broken up? Their last album, I think, came out in 1983, 43 years ago. Wow. But they did a tour, I think, in the early 2000s. You know, those are big money-making situations. What else did I want to tell you about? All right. Oh, we hit Iran big time. Here, listen to this. It's the sound of freedom, baby. Cut 1. It's a Joint Strike Fighter on its way back from Tehran after delivering a huge payload. We fired dozens and dozens of Tomahawk missiles. Those are basically those missiles that come off of ships. They're fired from ships. Lots and lots of planes, drop bombs. We basically did a lot of shooting. We did a lot of blasting. And let's see what the situation is with Iran. Have they smartened up? Difficult to say. They're very, very strange people. Very strange people. Now, President Trump said last night that Iran was calling and asking, begging for us to stop the fighting, to stop the bombing. Is that true? Where are my true socials? President Trump says this is going to intensify potentially. Actually, I can't call it my truth. What happened to my truth social? Well, I was a little bit confused earlier this week because he made a big point of saying that the deal was going to be reached very, very soon, almost like in an hour. This is right after the basketball game. Cut 3, please. Cut 3.
We're in the final throes of what will be a very, very good deal that will not allow in any way, shape, or form nuclear weapons, etc. And the Strait will open up right away. It'll open up immediately upon signing, which could be in 2 or 3 days.
Sir, did you just say 2 or 3 days or 2 or 3 weeks?
2 or 3 days.
You'll be signing a peace agreement?
No, we have a good chance of doing it. We should be able to do it in 1 hour.
Well, still not there. And the other thing about it that made me a little bit, well, wait, maybe this isn't the end of the world. Because, we responded in part because of the Apache helicopter that was shot down. But listen to him talk about that Apache helicopter. He doesn't sound, all that perturbed about it. Next cut, please. Cut 4.
There's a report that an Army helicopter went down in the Strait. Can you give us an update on that? Are the soldiers okay?
The pilots are fine, yeah.
And was
nobody
injured?
injured.
What brought it down?
We are going to issue a report tomorrow, but the pilots are fine, yeah.
All right, so that's right when he said we're going to have a deal in an hour. So I don't think this is about the pilots or the helicopter. Just a little while ago, he posted the United States will be hitting Iran very hard tonight. Very hard tonight. That's tonight. He wrote this this morning. And the way he says, the United States will be hitting Iran, whose Navy, Air Force, radar, anti-aircraft, and all other forms of defense, together with most of its offensive capability, are gone, will be hit very hard tonight. At some point in the not-too-distant future, we will be taking Karg Island and other oil infrastructure points and assume total control of their oil and gas markets, much like we have with Venezuela, which is working out brilliantly for Venezuela and the United States of America. Thank you for your attention to this matter. What are we supposed to do? I always want to thank you for your attention to this matter. Well, what do what do you have in mind? Now, let's hear this, because the POTUS, President of the United States, just put this also up on Truth. Let's see. He called into the Fox and Friends. I watch that show from time to time. You know who I really like? Ainsley. I like her. And I like that Lawrence fellow. Very nice. Very nice. I at first, I didn't think it was working. There was something about it that was a little bit off. But then, I don't know, it just clicked. And he's like a truth teller in all of this. This is very, very good. Very impressive arrangement on that couch. And Kilmeade, good too. All right, do we have President Trump on the phone? We will in a moment, right? Okay, good. Yeah, he also has this habit of, I don't like, reporters sometimes they say, I just talked to President Trump and he said this. I feel like that's almost a violation of confidence. Now, sometimes he wants you to say it. I just wouldn't do that myself. I wouldn't like, unless he asked. Go ahead and listen, please. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought I heard a head nod. Pardon me. Great.
Will there be more bombing tonight?
Yeah, there will be more bombing tonight. It'll be bigger, more powerful. Don't forget, more powerful. We've knocked out all of their anti-aircraft. They don't have any they have nothing. I mean, they may get lucky with a shoulder weapon or something, but for the most part, they have no defense.
What did the representative say in your phone call with them?
They're finished. Excuse me. They're finished. But the papers, the media refuses to write it. They're finished. We can walk in there tomorrow. We could take soldiers. I don't want to have boots on the ground, but if I wanted to, we could put a small group of soldiers and take over the whole place. They're finished. And the media is crooked. They're just like our elections. The media is crooked.
Well, I don't dispute that. However, we have one little issue here. We don't have any reporters on the ground over there. We don't really know what's happening firsthand. We don't have any embedded, right? Remember embedded? I was embedded. I was there for the invasion. I was right there. I could report what I was seeing, where I was, not so much where I was seeing it. They wanted me to be very vague about the, the circumstances where I was. Certain points I could. We just crossed the Euphrates River. We're on the outskirts of Baghdad, and now we're in downtown Baghdad. And I reported what I saw. How do we get this information? That guy from CENTCOM, whatever happened to him? Admiral Cooper. He's in hiding, for crying out loud. Now, Hegseth came out
yesterday. I thought this was a pretty strong statement for him. Secretary of War down in CENTCOM. You know where the headquarters of this military operation is? Tampa, Florida. Tampa. Not exactly, it's not in, they're managing this war from 10,000 miles away. Not that they can't do it. They do it, but it's interesting. Hegseth, cut 2. Good for him. It's we don't want to do this, but we want them at the table and we want to iron it out and let's get it done. Iran, come on in. The water is fine. Okay, the water is great. I pointed out that the POTUS there gave a 50-minute statement yesterday. 50 minutes right during this show. And then 20 minutes the night before. Remember Biden when he would walk away? Remember after every little press conference? No, it wasn't even a press conference. He never took questions. He'd make a statement, read from a card, and then run. Not walk, run when he could. Cut 6.
I'll protect our troops. Thank you.
Mr. President, what kind of impact does it have when celebrities like Nicki Minaj?
Thank you. Thank you.
Mr. President, did you tell President Xi when you spoke to him last week?
Get vaccinated.
Mr. President, is this constitutional, Mr. President?
Thank you all very much.
On the status of getting Americans out of Afghanistan.
Mr. President, what about booster shots? What about the confusion about booster shots, sir?
And what did they boast about? They bragged, transparency. I can't stand that word. Transparency. You'll be able to see right through everything we do. Well, you'll be able to just see right through it. And actually, we can. Cut 5, if you don't mind, please.
When the president asked me to serve in this role, we talked about the importance of bringing truth and transparency back to the briefing room.
Jen Psaki.
We will open the Congress with a rule that will insist upon openness and transparency.
Joe has been incredibly transparent over many, many years. The one thing we all know about Joe, he puts it all out there.
Kamala being stupid yet again. And smiling and laughing about it. No joke. It was no joke. All right. Carmelo Anthony has filed an appeal. So what? He's going to rot in jail, and I think he deserves to. We'll be right back.
Greg Kelly.
Let's go, Brandon.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
Greg Kelly, entertaining and informative.
On the Red Apple Podcast Network.
You ever see that dude, Douglas Murray, the British guy on Fox News? He wrote a book a while back, The Insanity of Crowds and the Crazy Stuff Mobs Do, not only when they're in the streets, but actually when they're in the halls of academia, corporate America. Groupthink is often a very dangerous thing. And I think you see it in the streets. I love the Knicks. I mean, kind of, not really. Who cares, really? I'm not that into it. But I know what it's like to really root for a team and see them lose or win. I remember crying when the Yankees lost, all right, when I was like 11. And then I kind of grew up, right? I kind of grew up, and I put away those childish things. But to see what I saw last night, I couldn't tell the difference between that. Some of that stuff looked like the worst of the Black Lives Matter riots, right? And I don't know why they have it out for, say, they start destroying silly things. Now, they weren't like looting Best Buy or anything like that, but they were doing strange stuff, like trying to destroy a city bike. One guy was like picking up this bike and slamming it down, and everyone was like, ooh, yo, ooh. Another guy was trying to dislodge a don't walk sign, with the hand, the red hand, the white hand. Ooh, bro. Ooh. Like it was the most, when you get right down to it, it's kind of lame. It's not even like, why would you be that passionate? And in this little sequence, you're going to hear, you know what the object of fascination is, of all things? A traffic cone. One of those orange little things that when you were a kid, you wore as a hat, as a witch's hat sometimes, but it was always too big for your head.
It's one of those things that Chris Christie had rearranged to slap around that Democrat mayor in Fort Lee. All those Democrat kids, right, Bridget Kelly? Hey, whatever happened to her? I understand that the case was thrown out by the Supreme Court. The only thing about that is I have an email. It says, don't feel sorry for those kids. They're Democrat kids. And I'm pretty sure she wrote that. But apparently she was innocent. Chris Christie, you screwed her over, just like you screwed Jersey over, or anybody who wanted to go to the beach that day. Anyway, let's hear the new clip of the tomfoolishness. There's the cone. There's the cone. Oh! Go New York, go. You're trying to break New York. You're embarrassing people, and you're making people scared. You can't have a woman with you in that crowd. It's all military age men, even a bit younger, 15 to like 35. Just a bunch of jerks, to be honest. Now, I've seen this back in the day when I was into the Yankees. Do you remember when the Yankees were winning the World Series like every year for a couple of years? And what would happen? They would storm the field and destroy the field. That was something else that I could not. At the time, I was like, why are they doing this? This does not seem, and I was fascinated by the idea of going on the field. It seemed like the most dangerous thing. And you could also see people get arrested for it. Anyway, what I'm doing, I'm putting together some videos. On one side, I will have, street violence. And on the other side, I'll have street violence. And it looks very, very similar. But one will be outraged about what they allege to be a racially biased cop killing a person of color, right? And then the other side will be the Pittsburgh Pirates won game 2 of the championship. And the challenge will be, okay, which one is the social media, which one is the civil rights issue, and which one is the baseball team won last night? And it's amazing how similar these things look. Yeah, we have no context. We have no, and part of it is the psychology of human beings. And don't forget this, rioting is fun. It's fun. It's not, I didn't say it was fun. The urban sociologist came up with that in 1965. He wrote a book, The Fun and Profit of Rioting. And he outlines it. He studied all these riots and all the things that people got out of it. And it was very seldom directly related to whatever incident happened. There was fun. There was nothing to do. The weather was nice. You'll notice they never riot in the rain. They'll stand up for their team. They'll stand up for justice. They'll stand up against cops. No matter what. Except if it's raining or cold outside. I tend to doubt your commitment to the social justice cause if you're afraid of a little rain. 800-848-9222. 800-848-9222. Be right back.
Thanks for listening to The Greg Kelly Show. You can hear The Greg Kelly Show weekdays at 12:15 on 77 WABC. If you like the podcast, share it with your friends and listen anytime at WABCRadio.com and download the WABC Radio app. Hit that subscribe button on all major podcast platforms. Plus, follow WABC on social on Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, and X. See you next time for a new episode so you never have to wonder.
What the heck is going on here?
On the biggest stage in the world, FanDuel is changing the game because sometimes your player gets subbed off and your bet goes with them. Not anymore. With FanDuel Super Sub, if your player's subbed out, your bet stays in. That's right. If your player leaves the match, your bet continues on with the substitute. So you're still in it until the final whistle. Visit FanDuel.com. Get started now. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel.
21 plus select states for Kansas in affiliation with Kansas Star Casino. 18 plus DCKYWY. Gambling problem? Call 1-800-GAMBLER. 1-800-MY-RESET. 888-789-7777. Visit ccpg.org/chat. Connecticut. Visit mdgamblinghelp.org. Maryland. Visit gamblinghelplinema.org. Call 800-327-5050. Massachusetts. Call 877-8-HOPE-NY. Text HOPE-NY in New York. Call 877-770-7867. Louisiana.
Visit FanDuel.com. Get started now. Let there be goals this summer on FanDuel.